Hello everybody, can you hear me? Can you hear? Yeah. Welcome back to the session, after the session, and we've got very tight time scale, but thank you all for getting back so quickly. We're running a bit behind time, and we've got a lineup here of, how many? We've got 4 speakers, is it? 5 speakers, yeah, so it's going to be quite tight, about 50 minutes per speaker. And this topic is going to be about climate change technologies across all sectors, from our buildings, first of all, in terms of the energy demand, which is a huge area, our existing buildings, our new buildings, and then on into the whole area of generating electricity from wind, and then from ocean energy, from tidal and wave energy, and then on into biomass, where we're going to look at the whole potential there in terms of what we could do with biomass and biofuels in Ireland, and also back into looking at our interconnection into Europe with electricity. So they're the topics. We've got a very tight programme, and I'm just going to say a few words first to start it off in terms of where are we regarding this challenge of a zero carbon economy. Where are we now, and what sort of a road have we got to go to? I unfortunately missed the very, very good talks this morning, and I'm dying to pick up on what was said, but the picture here for us in Ireland is pretty gloomy. We are incredibly dependent on fossil fuels. Not alone from a climate change point of view, where we are 1.5 times the European average in greenhouse gas emissions per person. We're the highest in Europe, in other words, in greenhouse gas emissions. But we're also incredibly dependent on imports of fossil fuels, where we import 92% of our fuel in Ireland is imported. Only 8% is indigenous energy. So we're incredibly exposed on the other side to major issues concerning fuel security. I think everybody in this room knows this, and it knows what a difficulty we're in, and at the same time, the opportunities that are going to come from the change, from this incredibly unsustainable way that we're locked into fossil fuels, to the new paradigm of being based on looking at energy from an energy conservation point of view across all sectors, where we're going to reduce our energy consumption dramatically from the incredibly wasteful way we use energy today, and at the same time switching to renewables to do this. And of course all sectors are involved in this. I notice we don't have transport in this section, which would be important, and agriculture would be too, but we have a lot of the major sides up here for this afternoon session. And I suppose the challenges for us in the short term, over the next 10 years for Ireland, is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by at least 30%. That's what we have to do within 10 years, down to 70% of what we are today. At a time when we've been growing over the last Celtic Tiger years of energy consumption and our greenhouse gas emissions, we have to make that switch. Now, the economic downturn is helping us at the moment, because obviously that has brought this to its, if you like, to its senses, in the sense that we've been able to stand back, reassess ourselves, and hopefully when our economy slowly starts to grind out of the problems we're going to see the change happening. But if we are to see a future for Ireland, there's no doubt it's going to have to be based on the opportunities and new enterprises that are going to flow from these energy sources. At the moment, we import 6.5 billion every year in energy into this country. That's an awful lot of money when you compare it to every individual in this country. It's over 1,500 euros per every individual. And if you take that over a family, you're talking about a lot of money goes out of this country directly, out of the economy of this country every year, simply because of the way we're so addicted to fossil fuels. And we have to break that connection and try and see how we can reduce those imports and use that money that will now circulate back in our local economies, for that money now to be realised in those local economies. It mobilises opportunities for farmers, for local enterprises, for local new initiatives to start to develop. And I would hope that from this session we will get a good feeling of what's going on at the moment and where these challenges are and where the future lies. And in a college like this, obviously, Dublin Institute of Technology are a leading player in this whole area. And we're going to need this college, these institutes, Bolton Street, Kevin Street, Angel Street, etc., to drive this change so that the young people in this country will be prepared for the challenges that they have to meet. Up till now, we have not done so. I have to say, we're sending out graduates from all of our colleges and universities in this country totally unprepared for what has to come. And, you know, I look at the room here today and I'm saying, how many architects are present here when the first talk is about buildings, which is very critical to us. And, you know, I'm not sure if there are many architects present in this from the Department of Architecture, where really we have to change our architecture completely from the mad ways we built over the last, say, 20 years when we knew better. And the changes are dramatic from the unsustainable ways we are building still today to the new paradigm. And I believe that in this college, there's an incredible opportunity for young people to engage in these areas. So I'm going to stop talking because there's so much for our speakers to kind of deal with.